What if I told you the next king of football wasn't born in Barcelona or Manchester or Rio de Janeiro? He came from a quiet suburb of Paris, where one little boy dreamed of becoming faster than everyone else. Long before the world knew the name Kylian Mbappé, there was a child who believed limits were meant to be broken. While other kids imagined scoring goals, Mbappé imagined making history. Born on December 20th, 1998 in Bondy, France, football wasn't just a hobby, it was part of his family. His father coached young footballers. His mother was a professional handball player. Competition wasn't something he learned, it was something he lived every single day. From the moment he could kick a ball, one thing became obvious. He wasn't just quicker than the other children, he saw the game differently. His acceleration was explosive, his confidence was fearless, and his hunger to improve never seemed to end. While most young players dreamed of playing for their local club, Mbappé dreamed of becoming the greatest player in the world.
His bedroom walls weren't covered with random posters. One face inspired him every single day: Cristiano Ronaldo. The boy who once stared at those posters had no idea that one day he would share the same pitch with his childhood hero. At just 14 years old, Europe's biggest clubs were already fighting to sign him. But only one decision would change football forever. And that's where the real story begins. Talent can open doors, but only courage can change your future. By the age of 14, Kylian Mbappé was no longer just another promising teenager in France. His incredible speed, fearless dribbling, and natural finishing had caught the attention of Europe's biggest football clubs. Scouts traveled from across the continent, all asking the same question: who was this kid from Bondy? Offers began to arrive from football's biggest giants. Some promised fame, others promised money. Talent can open doors, but only courage can change your future. By the age of 14, Kylian Mbappé was no longer just another promising teenager in France. His incredible speed, fearless dribbling, and natural finishing had caught the attention of Europe's biggest football clubs. Scouts traveled from across the continent, all asking the same question: who was this kid from Bondy? Offers began to arrive from football's biggest giants. Some promised fame, others promised money. But it became motivation. He didn't just want to meet legends, he wanted to become one. Instead of chasing instant fame, Mbappé made the bold decision to join AS Monaco, a club famous for developing young stars. It was a gamble. There were no guarantees, only opportunity. And Kylian was ready to prove that he belonged on football's biggest stage. At just 16 years old, Mbappé made his professional debut. Within months, the football world would witness the birth of a superstar. And once he started scoring, there was no turning back. Some players become professionals. Only a few become global sensations. At just 17 years old, Kylian Mbappé wasn't supposed to lead AS Monaco. But football doesn't wait for age. It rewards courage. Week after week, Mbappé played with a confidence far beyond his years. His blistering pace left defenders chasing shadows. His composure in front of goal stunned even the most experienced goalkeepers. Then came the 2016-17 season, the season that changed everything. AS Monaco wasn't expected to compete with Europe's biggest clubs, yet with Mbappé leading the attack, they shocked the football world. They won the Ligue 1 title, ending Paris Saint-Germain's dominance, and made an unforgettable run to the UEFA Champions League semifinals. Against Manchester City, against Borussia Dortmund, and against some of Europe's strongest defenses, Mbappé didn't play like a teenager.
He played like he belonged among the world's elite. Overnight, every major club wanted him. The media called him the future of football. Fans began comparing him to legends. But with fame came pressure. The expectations became enormous.
Could one incredible season really be enough to prove he was football's next superstar? Or was he simply another young talent who would fade away? Then came an offer no young player could ignore. Paris Saint-Germain, a transfer worth hundreds of millions of euros. The hometown hero was about to return home. But with that move came a level of pressure that would test him like never before. Some footballers spend their entire careers chasing one moment. Kylian Mbappé found his at just 19 years old. The 2018 FIFA World Cup wasn't supposed to belong to a teenager. It was a stage built for legends. Yet with every match, Mbappé played as if he had nothing to fear. His speed was unstoppable. His confidence was unmatched. And every time France needed a breakthrough, he delivered. Then came the round of 16 against Argentina. On one side stood Lionel Messi, already one of football's greatest players.
On the other, a fearless teenager ready to announce himself to the world. Mbappe's explosive runs tore through Argentina's defense, earning a penalty and scoring twice in a breathtaking performance. It wasn't just a victory, it was football's official introduction to its next global superstar. France continued their incredible journey, and in the final against Croatia, Mbappe scored once again. At just 19 years old, he became one of the youngest players in history to score in a FIFA World Cup final. France lifted the trophy. The world celebrated a new champion.
But for Mbappé, this wasn't the finish line. It was only the beginning. After conquering the world, the expectations became even bigger. The boy from Bondi was no longer football's future. He was expected to become its next king. But with fame came pressure, and the toughest chapter of his career was about to begin. Winning the World Cup at just 19 years old should have made life easier. Instead, it made everything harder. Every match, every goal, every decision was now judged against impossible expectations. The football world no longer asked if Kylian Mbappé was a superstar. It asked a much bigger question. Could he become the next face of football after Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo? At Paris Saint-Germain, Mbappé became the center of one of the world's biggest clubs. League titles followed. Goals came in record numbers.
Season after season, he proved why defenders feared him. But football has always measured greatness differently. Domestic success wasn't enough. The one trophy everyone expected him to win was the UEFA Champions League. Then came the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Once again, Mbappe delivered when it mattered most. He scored an unforgettable hat-trick in the final against Argentina, becoming only the second player in history to achieve that feat in a men's World Cup final. Yet despite one of the greatest individual performances ever seen, France lost on penalties.
It was a night of heartbreak, a reminder that football can be both beautiful and cruel. After that final, one question echoed across the football world. What was the next step for Kylian Mbappé? The answer would shock millions, because the move he had dreamed about since childhood was finally about to become reality. Every generation has a player who carries the future of football on his shoulders. For Kylian Mbappé, that moment has already arrived.
The little boy from Bondi, who once dreamed of following Cristiano Ronaldo, is now living a dream that millions of young footballers hope to achieve. His move to Real Madrid wasn't just another transfer. It was the beginning of a new chapter, a club built on history, expecting him to create even more.
Now every goal, every trophy, and every season will be judged by one question. Can Kylian Mbappé become the greatest player of his generation? The challenge is enormous, because replacing legends is impossible. You don't replace Messi. You don't replace Ronaldo. You create your own legacy, and that's exactly what Mbappé is trying to do. At just 26 years old, he has already won the FIFA World Cup, scored in multiple World Cup finals, broken countless records, and established himself among football's elite.
Yet the biggest chapters of his career may still lie ahead. More Champions League nights, more international tournaments, more opportunities to inspire the next generation. Whether he becomes football's next undisputed king, or simply one of the greatest players to ever step onto the pitch, one thing is already certain. Kylian Mbappe's story is far from over, because legends aren't remembered for how they begin. They're remembered for how they finish. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe for more cinematic football stories. The next legend story is already waiting.